Welcome back. All right. So, you guys, I recorded an amazing episode yesterday. I went to hit stop, but instead of hitting stop, I realized I was hitting start. So, I actually did not record jack shit. So, this is take 2. To be totally honest with you, I was having all kinds of feelings yesterday around a whole lot of things. So, really, I don't even know what I had said, which is why I know the episode was really, really good, because I've got no idea what I said. But something's come up multiple times over the past 24 hours for me. And typically when something happens, like I don't record and then the same messaging keeps coming up and the same ping of feeling keeps coming up, that's when I realize this is the universe telling me this is what I need to talk about. So this is what we're going to talk about. And it's going to come down to worthiness and boundaries. Okay. And it is going to come down to several different things. So I have been recently, I've taken to Snap. It's a new platform for me. I've used it for the past year on a personal basis with a handful of people. Right? And every single person on there was somebody I knew. I never posted to my stories. I use it in complete privacy. Okay. And, let's be honest. AC made me start using it because I was giving out my phone number to people and he just about lost his shit. So anyways, see, he does care about me. He doesn't want me giving out my phone number. So I started using Snap. Okay. So here's what happened. I recently decided I was going to give Snap a full go as a platform to reach coaching clients. Okay. And as you can imagine, if you know anything about Snap is a dirty, dirty place. It's a dirty world. It's the seedy underbelly of apps and chats, right? So anything that you type is deleted within 24 hours. Any picture you send is deleted within 24 hours. Okay, so you can imagine who's on there connecting. So I decided I wasn't going to reach out to anybody to connect, but anybody who reached out to me, I would start accepting their requests so that if they see a story and they want to respond and they want to start a conversation, I have the ability to go back and forth with them. And at first, this was really hard because I was accepting these requests and I was trying, as every single one of them said hi, I was trying to respond. But as I think everybody knows, the more you do something in social media or in anything online, right? AI and their tracking systems are super efficient. So the more requests I'm accepting, the more I'm showing up in other people's feeds, the more requests I'm receiving. So I went from receiving, 5 requests a day to 75 requests a day. Awesome. Now here's the thing. Of those 75 requests, there's at least 10 I'm going to block right off the bat because I'm going to open it and it's going to be a picture or a video of something that I did not ask for. I do not want to see. And at what point, can somebody please tell me, at what point, what do women have to do to make men understand that the protruding, tool that's flopping around, we don't really want to see. There is nothing you can do that in a photo, in a video, in a snap, especially upon a first meeting, where that is going to turn me on. Nothing at all. I cannot stress that enough. But okay. So the first, there's out of that 75, 10 of them, I am going to completely just end up blocking. There will be another 10 who will get really pissy with me because they have said hi, I have opened it and I have not responded. Okay. Either they will end up blocking me or I will end up blocking them. another big handful who I will have no interaction with at all. And then there will be a very small couple, 2, 3, 4, that I will engage in a conversation. It will actually be an enjoyable conversation. Work will come up. We will begin talking about my business, the podcast, whatever it is, right? And there will actually become potential for them to either become a coaching client, to listen to the podcast, or just to be a supporter. Like, and honestly, like sometimes that's way more than enough. Like they're just gonna like, share my stuff or not be mean, or I'm gonna educate them in some way on something, right? And that's really what I live for. But over the past couple of days, the amount of really nasty things that have been said to me, I won't say that they've gotten to me, like they haven't made me value my self-worth, but they've more made me question mankind. Does that make sense? Like what you're saying doesn't fucking bother me, not one bit. You go ahead, you call me names. Does that make you feel better? You 40-something-year-old cheating husband who's pissed because I won't send you a picture of my tits? Does that really make you feel better to call me names? Good. Then you keep on doing it, and I will block you and you just keep on doing it. It's maybe this is what the world has come to. Like this is how we communicate. This is how we introduce ourselves and meet new people and make new friends. Like what the fuck? I've had multiple people who've like literally said to me, like, if you don't want to see my dick, then what are you doing on Snapchat? I'm sorry, what? I wasn't aware that was one of the requirements for being on Snapchat, that I had to want to see your dick. And also, just so we're clear, good sir, I have over like 500 requests of dicks to look at. So why is yours better than the other 499? Just asking. But this is when I say I'm out to dismantle the patriarch, this is it. This is the bullshit that needs to stop. We have made it that an app for chatting isn't even a safe place for women. How fucking sad is that? Now, granted, yes, I understand. I have a public profile. I do understand that. I am accepting the requests, so I understand. And you might be sitting here thinking, well, you're bringing this on yourself. Okay. And to some degree, I agree with that. But just because I'm using it as a platform to market and connect with my audience does not mean that I want to see everybody naked, right? Like, it blows my mind. Honestly, it's like numbing to me. Like, I just don't understand. And I just got done posting in my stories on Snap saying, like, I want to set the record straight. Like, just because you say hi to a woman, just because you send her a photo, just because you ask her for something, she is not required. Let me say that again. She is not required to reply. And if there's one thing I want to teach my daughter, it's that right there. You are not required to reply. And them getting mad at you for not replying, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem. Okay? It took me about 2 weeks before I started blocking people and realizing that I didn't need to respond to everybody. I was about on the verge of a breakdown when AC finally was like, why do you keep responding? I don't know. Okay, it's time to stop. And he helped me realize that, right? Because as women, we are so conditioned to be polite. We are so conditioned to appease. But you know what happens when we're appeasing and when we're being polite? we lose sight of us. We are no longer human. We no longer matter. We don't even matter to ourselves. How sad is that? So at the end of my Snap story where I was telling them, like, I'm not required to respond to you and I don't really give a fuck. Go ahead and block me. Like, and if you have a problem with this, then get the fuck off my Snap. I question the self-worth of anybody who's out sending that shit, but also any woman who's receiving it and not blocking, who's receiving it and replying. And I've been there. I've been her. I understand. So I'm not saying this with judgment in any way, shape, or form. But what I want women to understand, if you are replying because you're fucking bored out of your mind and like you feel like fucking with somebody, by all means, keep going. If you are replying because you genuinely enjoy the interaction and like it and want it, keep going. But if you are like sighing and like every time and you are replying, you are replying through resistance, let's say, fucking stop. Stop. You are worth more than that. You deserve more than that. So take a minute for yourself and remind yourself that you do not owe anybody jack shit. Set your boundaries. What makes you feel good? Fuck what anybody else says or thinks. You don't need it. You don't need to worry. It doesn't matter. What do you need? What makes you feel safe? That's all that fucking matters. Nobody has to understand your boundaries. Nobody has to understand why you do things. Boundaries are what keeps us safe. They keep us grounded. They keep us happy. Boundaries are a slippery slope because one day we can feel like, oh, I have the capacity for this today, right? And the next day we don't, but we feel bad because we had the capacity yesterday. Guess what? You don't owe anyone that capacity. Boundaries are allowed to ebb and flow. They're allowed to change as you need them to change. The only time boundaries become an issue is when they are not communicated to those in a direct relationship with us. And I'm going to repeat that again, to those in a direct relationship with us. That means you do not owe the person on the street, the person on the other side of the screen, or anyone else in the world who you met 4.5 seconds ago, you do not owe them an explanation of your boundaries. You don't need to tell them they crossed your boundaries. You don't need to tell them jack shit. But personally, I am a fan of communicating your hard boundaries with those you interact with every day, who you love and respect. I might say to AC, he might do something that upsets me. I might say like, okay, if that happens again, I will need to walk away for X, or I will need, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a situation and it's really hard off the top of my head, even though I feel like we've had these conversations a million times over. And we've had the conversations between like hard boundaries, like this is a hard boundary for me. And if you cross it, I cannot continue in this relationship. And it's not an ultimatum. It's not, if you do X, I am leaving. It's not a threat. And that ultimately is what an ultimatum is. An ultimatum is essentially is a threat. If you do this, then this is what I will do. A boundary is said with love and respect. You have the right to choose and to do whatever it is that you would like. But I have the right to protect myself by any means necessary. In a lot of cases, it is not ending a relationship. It is like, if I show up here and this is the conversation that this comes up in the conversation as a topic, I will up and walk into a different room because I will not entertain this topic for discussion. So really, the biggest difference between boundaries and ultimatums is the motive, which can be really hard to dissect at times. But none of that's the point of this episode. The point of this episode is I want you to have enough self-worth and self-respect. I want you to have enough trust in yourself to let go of people who are making you feel uncomfortable. And let me rephrase that. Not people who are making you feel uncomfortable, strangers who are making you feel uncomfortable. You owe them nothing. Nothing. Can you do that? Can you let them go? Can you start respecting yourself more than the stranger on the street, the stranger on the other side of the screen? I really hope so. Because I know you're worth more than what you're putting up with. That's what I got for you guys today.